it's Big Jackie. We're back with Play Where It's Safe, and I'm here with...
It's Precious, aka the Worthy Empress, and the owner of the nonprofit I'm Worthy. Come join our Worthy Palace, the Barking's journey of healing our mental states together. And follow us at _IM.worthy on Instagram, TikTok. And we'll love to have you guys also subscribe to our YouTube.
Subscribe, reshare, like. We love the support. We love our fans. We love to see you. Are you ready to get into it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So you own a nonprofit.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about that. Tell us your journey. And let us know really how you were feeling when you started it, the things you had to go through with it.
Ooh, girl, that was a good question. Okay, you starting off strong. So I'm going to be honest. When I started I'm Worthy, it started as a positive affirmation I was saying to myself.
Okay.
During that time in my life, I was 19. I was attending NCCU.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be honest, my father had just passed.
Okay.
And I was going through so much personally in my life that looking in the mirror became difficult for me to do. So I realized like the confidence I had within myself and the value I had within myself. It was, how can I say, it was basically slowly decreasing. And I remember at that time, I just kept writing affirmations.
Okay.
And I was like, I am worthy of a wonderful, unlimited amount of unconditional love.
Yes.
I am worthy of any and all things God has for me. And I'm worthy of just everything that's aligned with greatness if God sees that for me.
How important is it for people to understand writing affirmations for yourself?
Honestly, I feel like everyone has their own niche of what helps them. But I tell anyone, like, a positive affirmation, it can really be that just extra reminder to yourself. Like, I have mine's plastered on my mirror.
And I was gonna say that. Where do you put them at? Where do you put your affirmations at?
So I do have them scattered around my house, but I definitely have it in the mirror in my bathroom. Mostly so when I wake up in the morning, I can look at them and read them to myself. Just a reminder. Or say, for instance, I'm going through something in the moment. And I know sometimes, like, when we're going through stuff, people don't know, but slowly you'll see that your consistency to, like, make sure you're keeping yourself looking well, it can slowly diminish a little bit. So I feel like having it in the mirror when you're getting dressed, it's that reminder, like,
that little reminder.
I am a wonderful woman. I do deserve more than this. Okay.
I honestly believe, too, the more that you read something or say something to yourself, the more you can believe it. And that it'll come true, because words have a lot of effect over your life on what you say, how you say it. And then all of a sudden you're going to start feeling like it eventually.
Yeah. So I have a question. Have you ever heard someone say, keep saying things until you manifest it? Yeah. I tell people all the time, sometimes watch what you say. Because sometimes our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between us joking or us being literal. So even when people are laughing like, oh, I'm dead. No, you're alive and well.
Yes. And with that being said, too, people around you and what they say, how can that affect, even though you're trying to encourage yourself on a daily basis, you're putting in all the work. But yet, at the same time, your surroundings and the people that you're around might not be on the same page. So they're also affecting you.
Okay, so I always tell people your diet consists of just more than what you eat, more than what you drink, all things of what you consume. So whether that's the people you allow to surround yourself with, what you watch on TV, what you have on your social media, all that can potentially affect how you view yourself. And I always tell people it's kind of difficult to try to strive to be more positive in your life when you have people in your life that you care about and value so greatly are speaking negatively. And I never encourage people to cut people off. But I always tell people, you know, it's good to love yourself more, to know to limit your interactions if you can see they're being heavily impacted. So I always tell people it's very important to choose, like, the great people you have around you. But definitely, like, if you feel like their presence is too much and is negatively impacting you, and you feel like it can potentially deter, like, the growth you've made, choose yourself more and just, give yourself more time of space and let them know, hey, this is my boundary. I love you.
Yes.
But every time I speak to you, interact with you, is constantly negative.
It's negative.
Yeah, and it's affecting me.
Right. All the time too. And there's patterns that people build. There's patterns. There's patterns that people build. So whether it's consistent with the people you have around you or within yourself, everything can be broken. But just touch on a little bit how you being consistent and building a pattern to get your mind right, to get your spirit right. What does that look like?
Ironic you said that. I have a question similar to that to ask you. So honestly, what happened, I say the first step was I had to sit back and I had to accept my role in my shortcomings.
Okay.
So I always tell people that's the first step. I say you really have to sit there and be honest with yourself. Extremely brutally honest, not harsh, but just honest with yourself and just accepting the fact that I did play a role in my shortcomings.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm unhappy right now at this moment of life,
right,
or this constant negative patterns that I'm seeing within myself, is because I'm making poor choices.
Right.
And unfortunately, I'm now seeing the consequences come into full play.
Right.
So,
that's so good.
Okay.
That's
so
good.
I always tell people, I'm like, you can't say you're self-aware if you don't know your own patterns.
If you don't know your own patterns. So with taking accountability, because I had even a time period in my life where everything was going bad, but I didn't realize it was going bad because of me. Right? So I blamed everybody else. I thought it was everybody else's fault. And I'm just like, I'm this jolly green giant who, I don't understand why all this is happening to me and why But at the same time, I took the time to realize, okay, I might be the problem.
Yeah.
So in steps of doing that, what can you say would be the best advice to maybe realizing, okay, I might actually be the problem?
Like I said, that first step, you have to really sit down and be honest with yourself and like, okay, during that moment, when you how did you figure it out? Did you write it out? Like certain patterns you were noticing? You were like, oh my gosh, why does relationship people ending?
So
what's going on?
What happened was I had a series of events where all of them had the same structure, but it was with different individuals, right? So it was with different people, different personalities.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this happened this time, but this kind of correlates to how the last one happened, and then after that it happened again. So
you're just like, how's the outcome the same?
I'm like, how's the outcome the same? It's different people, it's different groups, it's different myself. I thought, you know what I'm saying? I thought I was building towards something, and then I sat down and realized, dang.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, congratulations on even just, because no, honestly, a lot of people are living this life in this world not being able to fully hold themselves accountable and be like, okay, I was wrong with that. Oh my gosh, I want better for myself. I want to be able to show up in a better light to people. Because I'm like, this isn't the representation I want to present to people. This isn't who I am at my true core.
Right.
And I think a lot of us don't understand or know. Sometimes, due to traumas we endured, we sometimes build up a shell and we are in survival mode.
All the time.
So we're not presenting our true authentic selves because we're trying to protect ourselves.
Yes.
So we're basically walking around with a mask on, and with doing that, sometimes our intentions don't always align with, how can I say it? I always tell people this. I said, sometimes intentions doesn't equate to, I'm guessing it up. I can't think of it. I have it written down. I have a whole poem about it.
We can write it.
Yeah,
we can write it. You're fine. You're fine. You will think of it in a minute. We'll think of it in a second.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't think. But yeah, so I always say the first step is always having acceptance on, your role and stuff. But yeah, I'm just gonna say sometimes our intentions don't always equate or align with the proper results that we're praying for.
Okay.
So there it go. Intentions don't always align with the execution. Okay. Hey, you guys, it's Precious, the owner of the nonprofit I'm Worthy. Miss Big Jackie, I have a question for you.
Okay.
So if you could rate your current mental health state from a scale 1 being poor,
Okay.
and 10 being wholeness.
Okay.
And you do know what wholeness is?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What would you rate it as?
Well, right now, I can honestly say I will rate it at a 6 because I got to a point where I was just consistent with life and life was going, but it was steady, but I didn't feel fulfilled. So now that I'm actually stepping into stuff that I like, that I love, I'm meeting people, I'm finding my passion, which is really hard to find, by the way. People act like they just overnight wake up and oh, here go my passion. Yeah. I didn't know what that looked like, but I knew I had a gift for something, and I know that I'm climbing toward it. Yes. So I would say I'm at a 6 right now. We're doing pretty good right now. Okay. How about yours?
I'm gonna be honest. So I feel like I'm at a 7, 8.
Okay.
In all honesty, this is like one of the first times in a very long time I want to say that my mental health state is in a great place. Because I honestly been diagnosed with mental health. I've received my mental health diagnosis at age 16. So I was in high school. Okay. So now I'm 27. So it's been over a decade of battling with it. 27. Yes. So like I always tell people, I'm like, like it's been a journey to get here. Because like I said, this is the first time I want to say I've been more aware and more intentional with who I allow to have access to me. Because at one point, because I'm so friendly, I was just very opening and willing to let, new people, embrace me. And it's nothing wrong with meeting new people, but it's also you have to have boundaries implemented. Right. So you're not, how can I say it, oversharing or extending yourself to too many places to the point that you can potentially become depleted and you don't have enough to give to yourself. But yeah, this is the first time I want to say in years that I'm in a great space. I feel like most of the components in my life, so emotionally, spiritually, physically, and mentally, like everything is coming together. Everything's not at a full 10, right, but it's coming together, and in areas that I feel I have weaknesses in, like in regards to my spirituality. I've since met women or already have women in my village that are strong in that aspect. Perfect. So, and I always tell people, I'm like, if it's good, if you encounter or meet people that have strengths in areas you're weaker in and are potentially willing to, to make stronger. Right. It's great to have them around because I feel like what they always say, the saying, iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron.
But the question I always ask people, I'm like, are you willing to be sharpened though?
Are you willing to be sharpened? Because that also comes with humility sometimes to get sharpened. So it's like if my pride is up here.
And lack of accountability.
What iron do you have for me? Because I feel like I have it all.
Yeah.
By this point, you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah. And I always tell people, I'm like, no humility. Is nothing wrong with, being humble in some aspect. I don't, if you're overly confident, that's great. But there's difference between high confidence and arrogance.
It is. Oh, it's a thin line. The line is paper thin.
And I feel like too many people keep crossing it.
Yeah. Or they'll cross it and then they step back and be like, well, why you feel like that? What? Why you even feel like that? Even though they just crossed the line, then they hop back over because the line's so thin. It's like, you know what you're doing to me sometimes.
They did that because the level of accountability, they weren't ready to. They weren't ready or equipped to handle it. And like we get back to the accountability we were saying about how sometimes, we don't show up as our best selves because we're going through things. We've experienced previous traumas. Right. So it's like, I meant to love you in this good way. You didn't feel that I loved you.
Yeah, you didn't feel my love and my passion.
Yeah, but it's like I love you at the best of my abilities at that time, but I wasn't fully loving myself at my best ability. So me trying to love you, I gave you what I could, but it wasn't the best because I'm not in my best right now.
Right. And I went through a lot of relationships thinking that and doing that because like you said, you can be such a person where it's like, okay, I want people to feel this energy. You know what I'm saying? The energy that I haven't felt, I want people to feel that. But then at the same time, it's like I'm giving you everything that I have thinking it's going to have an outcome, and it doesn't have that outcome at all.
I have a question. Have you ever given a lot of yourself in relationships, whether that's romantically or platonically, to the point that you felt depleted? And also, following after that, were they willing to pour back into you?
Oh, the answer was always no. I never got back what I put in with people that didn't deserve it. So I tried to make them deserve it. But they didn't deserve it, and it never came back. There was times where there was dudes that I put on a high pedestal. I'm gonna worship your feet almost.
Yeah.
Just because I had got comfortable. Oh no! But he would have said, "Jump." I would have been like, "Well, ha, baby, how you want me to jump?" I was like that for a little bit, but at the same time, when I said, "Hey, do you feel like you can skip over this speed bump for me real quick? You ain't even got to jump that high. Just skip over a little bit." You know what he said? I'm gonna walk across it and jump where. So yes, I have definitely did stuff like that, but at the same time, it took me years to learn that the power that you hold is within yourself, and you don't have to look for other people to bring that out. It's already there. Whether you know it or not, it's already there, but you don't have to look for other people.
Okay. I'm about to say, being that, I'm going to be honest, you guys, I am a fan of this gorgeous lady. So I actually have to ask you, like, how were you able to rebuild your confidence if you ever lost it at one point? Yeah. And what advice would you give to anyone else that's trying to reach that level that you have?
Right. So I did lose it just because I was giving it out to so many people. It was either relationship, sometimes it's family, sometimes it's friends, sometimes it was a random person I didn't even know when we got connected, and I still gave them the best. But at the same time, in the morning time, I was walking to Walmart, going into a store feeling depleted within myself. So how I gained it back was, for one, I had to look at my situation and seeing what I was dealing with on a daily basis. Okay. I can't change my mindset without changing my atmosphere. Okay. Because if I'm sleeping beside the devil and waking up beside the devil, he going to keep ruining my day over and over and over again. And he doesn't care if you don't have nothing left, because he will take that from you too. So I had to honestly sit back and say, hey, my life ain't even nothing like it was when I was 19, 20, 21. Thought I was having a ball.
Yeah.
But I was myself. So I said, okay, why am I feeling like this in the morning time? Why am I waking up? Hey, somebody said hey to me. Hey. You know, hey, how you? I don't care about what you got going on. Okay. You know what I'm saying? My whole spirit had changed. So I feel like the first step is definitely changing your atmosphere and realizing what that is. Because it could be a man, it could be family, it could be mama, it could be daddy, it could be your uncles, your aunts. It could be a brother, sister, anybody that's like aligning or trying to tie themselves to you. They see something in you that they don't have. So you got to understand too, people will attach themselves. You got to change it.
I'm going to add to that occupation.
Occupation. Yes. Because too, at the same time, it's like, if your goals don't even align with my goals, how we gonna make this work? Whether it's friends, family, significant other, if you comfortable where you're at and I'm not comfortable where I am, one or two things gonna happen. You gonna drag me away, or I'm gonna drag myself down. One or two.
Sink or swim.
Sink or swim. So I know you had touched on earlier as well. You said that it takes a lot of dedication for you to get to a mindset where you're like, okay, like you asked me, where's your mindset at now?
Yeah.
Right? But that took dedication for me to even figure out, where am I?
Yeah.
Right? So if you could tell our audience some tips and tricks on a day-to-day basis that could start their dedication on a better mental health, a better life.
Okay, so on a day-to-day, like I said, I have positive affirmations around my home. So that definitely helps me. I don't know everyone's, I don't know if they're religious or they're just spiritual, but I read a scripture a day. So what I actually bought, I do have an actual Bible, but I purchased a daily devotional Bible. So just in case I don't crack open my actual Bible, I at least have something that I can at least read a scripture very quickly and ask a question at the end that I have to answer. So I always tell people, just try to, like, we can't stop unpredictable moments from happening, unfortunately. But with that, I always tell people, like, when you're met with things that could be negative or could throw you off your pivot, what do you do to release that negative emotion when it comes? So what I do, because sometimes with my occupation currently, besides this one, it can be quite stressful. So sometimes I will bump into individuals, customers that have something negative to say. I actually, even with my nonprofit, unfortunately, I lost some people that I was once close with because they didn't feel that mental health, how can I say, they felt like it was like a foreign language to them. They didn't really believe in the mission. They were just like, mental health, like what? Like they couldn't really fathom the fact that I was creating a business, aligning with something that they felt, I'm not going to say didn't exist, but they didn't really respect. They didn't respect the importance of it. They felt like, oh, people that have mental health, like, they're just not equipped to handle the real world. And that's like, oh my gosh, like mental health. Like, and I said, you know what? I understand all of us have been subject to indoctrinated learning. So with that being said, like, some things, especially like mental health and mental health diagnosis, just anything aligned with it, it doesn't click in their head initially. But I always tell people, I'm like, everyone's perspective changes.
It does.
Until they deal with it directly. So whether that's with a loved one or they deal with it personally themselves, and then they're like, oh my gosh, like, oh wow, you were right about this. So I tell people, I'm like, work on your diet, your daily diet. I'm not saying all the time you're going to be perfect. But I know for me, like, I try not to constantly consume too much processed food. Because that plays a role in my mental health being poor. It does. Like I said, if I encounter someone that's being negative and I feel that energy is trying to transfer onto me, what I use is my positive coping mechanism. Sometimes I would either go to the gym, and if there's a boxing, a little punching bag, I'll put on my boxing gloves and get the energy out. And if that doesn't work, and I feel like I'm unable to express myself, like throat chakra I need to release it. It's getting choked up.
Yeah, it's getting choked up.
So instead of, if I'm not able to speak to that person how I feel, I write it out. So I produce poetry to get it out. So I always tell people, your daily diet on how to achieve a more positive stance in life, figure out your niche and what works best for you. Because like I said, I like to write out my emotions. Sometimes I like to talk it out. Poetry is for me. What's for you guys? What will work for you? And whatever you do, just give yourself time of working on it consistently, and just make note of what effects you have on it. Like what effects it has on you eventually. Also potentially just be open to therapy. I do know therapy isn't for everyone, but I always tell people, just potentially go on a search, find a good therapist, and give yourself, I'm not going to say 3 to 6 months. I'm going to say 6 months to a year.
6 months to a year.
Because I feel like that's the correct duration to really detect of whether or not, okay, I'm seeing an improvement in myself. I'm seeing certain patterns or getting to the root of certain issues that I didn't know lay dormant within me.
And that's crazy that you said that. Not to cut you off. That's crazy that you said that.
Go ahead.
Because the stigma, and I don't know if this is for everybody, but this is for me. The stigma that I've always heard when I've tried to bring up mental health or getting a therapist or talking to somebody, I don't know if this just might be the African American, the black household, but what you need to talk to an outside person for?
Okay. What happens in the house stays in the house.
Stays in the house. they can't tell me nothing about my life because we going through this with you every day and we see you every day. So why do you feel like you need to go talk to? Can't no outside person tell me nothing about myself. Tell me how to get out of a mindset like that and what steps you need to take to actually be like, okay, forget what they say.
Honestly, I developed that mindset early. So, like I said, when I received my diagnosis, I'm in high school. So, an actual adult, my former teacher, shout out to Chef Richardson.
Shout out to her.
Him. Actually a gentleman.
It really, shout out to him.
So, he's actually the one, I actually had a panic attack in his class, in his culinary class, and I just couldn't get it together. I'm shaking, hysterically crying. And my heart's just racing. I run outside. If you guys attended Scotland High, you know where those doors are, where the culinary rooms are. So I ran outside. I'm sitting on the stairs, and I'm just bawling out, talking to my mother. I'm like, Mom, you need to come get me. At this point, I missed a week plus of school because I was going through it mentally, and I couldn't pinpoint what it was. But I kept telling my family, something's going on mentally. I don't know what to say. I don't know what's going on. Obviously, I'm not thinking to Google search mental health. No, I'm just like, something's not going on. Something's not right. Something's going on mentally. And my parents were older. So my mother was 38, had me. My dad was 43. So most of my family members around me are older. So they also have adopted that mentality of like, oh, girl, you're not depressed. You're not depressed. You're just lazy. You got to find more stuff to do.
You're too young to be depressed.
What you got to be depressed about?
What you got to be depressed about?
You got a roof over your head. Your parents take good care of you. You get dressed nice. And I'm like, it's more than just that. So I was going through things at school that I wasn't fully transparent with my parents about, because I didn't want them to get in the mix of all that. They did eventually, though. Sorry. But yeah, so it took me having that breakdown at school. And I'm on the phone with my mother, and he comes out and he says, hey, you're her mother, right? Hey, Miss Lee, like, he said, I really think you may need to take her to go to a therapist to be diagnosed, because he said, I'm quite certain she's experienced a panic attack. And my mom was just like, wait, what? And I felt like at that moment, all my family members, like the light switch went in their head, like, oh, this girl really was going through it mentally. She wasn't just saying it to say it to get out of school or get out of responsibility. She was really suffering. And I want to say less than a week later, I went to a therapist and I received my diagnosis. And then, like, I want to say people's perspective of mental health started beginning to change. Because they're like, girl, you're our baby, like you were going through it, and I can't believe I dismissed your experience. So unfortunately, due to that, I became accustomed to people I care about dismissing my experience when I suffer. So as an adult, I began to kind of shelter myself more and be more isolated when I go through things, which isn't healthy. But like I said, I'm actively in therapy. I was able to get to the root of that. It took a while because I still wasn't trying to be too transparent and open about, like, I'm like, no, like that's not the reason why I'm like that. Oh, it is the reason I'm like that. Okay. So it's like, but luckily, like I said, I have a therapist that's helping me heal from that. So first step is forgiving your loved ones for not being able to properly hear you out. Very important. And for being misinformed or uneducated. In this aspect. Too. So they didn't intentionally dismiss your experience. They just didn't have the proper knowledge. But also they grew up same situation.
That's what I was going to say. It's like generational stuff. Trauma. Sometimes that follows down the line. And I'm feeling a lot heavier after a situation than I probably should have felt. But it's because maybe I did open up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I did, hey, Mom, what's your advice on this? Or Dad, you know what I'm saying? I'm going through this. And I tried. But because they didn't know no better, their parents didn't know no better. Nobody knew any better. So it just trickled down. Now I'm feeling 10 times. Now I'm feeling all that generational stuff.
Once you start, like, how can I say? I always tell people, you can love your parents, get to know your parents, but most importantly, stop looking at your parents as just like older adults. But look at them as if they're your age, and the reason why they maneuver or gave you that type of advice you didn't expect them to give you is because they weren't properly taught. I stopped looking at my parents like they were my parents. But still gave them that respect, but I looked at them like, oh, you're a 20-something-year-old person
Right.
that experienced this trauma early, and you just went through on with life. You never healed.
Right. And there's no handbook. There's no rules. There's no guide to sit here and look like. Okay, it's Big Jackie, and I'm back here with Precious, and she owns her own nonprofit organization. We're about to get into some new questions. So, it's not even a question.
Okay.
It's more of a statement, but I just want to say sometimes people can feel like they're their best self. Say, I made a persona of myself. Like, okay, I'm getting through day-to-day basis, right? But then I slip into the partying scene, right? I slip into the partying scene where it's like, okay, I'm getting noticed. Maybe I'm feeling bad in this certain area, but at least I'm getting noticed over here. Yeah. So I'm starting to party a lot, right? I'm starting to see different things, new things, you know what I'm saying? I heard over here from my homeboy, he looked like he having a great time over there on the dance floor. Well, why can't I be like that? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Why can't I feel better like that? So what he got going on? He come to me, tell me, you know what I'm saying? I took one of these. Yeah. I did this. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever did this before? Well, come try. You know, you see how I'm doing or how I'm feeling. So with tying your emotions to substance abuse, I felt like a lot of the time that I was my best self when I was high. When I was taking this, when I was doing what everybody else was doing in that little setting. Yeah. I felt like, okay, well, whatever I was thinking about, whatever I was going through, it's gone. It's gone. Yeah. Oh, that doesn't matter anymore. You know what I'm saying? Not realizing that, okay, like people say, when you come back down, your problem's still there. But they were still there, but I got right back up. Yes. And did it all over again. So it did turn into substance abuse. Whether I knew it or not, whether I called it out on myself or not, whether I woke up in the morning and was like, you know what? I only have $50 for the day, knowing I need my lights paid. But let me see if homeboy down the corner can give me a deal. You know, pretty face, nice smile. What can you do for me? You know what I'm saying? So, can you explain how sometimes substance abuse or alcoholism can take you over, and the things that can come from that, and feeling like you're feeling your best, but you're really hurting yourself?
I always tell people, because I too went through a moment like that. I was a herbalist, quite heavily at one point in my life, because what people don't know, when we're utilizing substances, we're trying to numb the pain that we're feeling, because we're not ready to fully take it head on. And I always tell people, so with doing that, first, the biggest step is really accepting and identifying the fact I may be a bit of an addict right now.
Bit of an addict. We even give it that. A bit of an. That's a start, though. That's a start.
You know, it's like, because at first, you know, you're in denial, like, me? No, of course not. This is just for fun. And then you realize when you're not participating in those type of recreational uses, you're like, oh crap, like things start hitting you. Yeah. Like the emotions, like the anger, the sadness, the depression, the anxiety. You're like, what the crap? Like I wasn't feeling this a couple hours ago when I was on this high, and then you, like you said, when you come down, your problems are still there.
Or even worse, sometimes when you come down, you feel, because now my body tired. Yeah. Now not even my mind, my body physically. It's also I'm crashing.
Yeah. So sometimes what happens is mentally, if, how can I say, everything's connected. Yeah. So sometimes if mentally you're not exhausted, your body will show like, hey, I'm tired of us putting up this front, trying to let people know we're okay. I'm tired of partying. Sometimes your body can become more burnt out quicker than your actual mind does. Right. But I always tell people, first you have to admit the fact that you are a functioning addict. Yeah, functioning addict. It does happen. That's a thing. It is definitely a thing. And I also tell people, like, okay, find another coping mechanism that's positive, that will be healthy, that you can replace this with. Right. Because I feel like even people that go to the gym successfully,
Yeah.
they're addicted to the gym, but that's that's a healthy addiction.
Healthy way, yeah.
So I always tell people, I'm like, okay, if you know what you're doing, it's affecting you in a negative way, try to find something that you may like that you can replace it with.
That you can replace it with.
Like I said, I started going to the gym more,
right.
but I realized boxing is more of a great hobby for me. And or I like to dance.
Yes.
Going to a dance class is good for me. So I'm finding replacements. So I always tell people, try to find a replacements that are healthy for you and that can help be a good another outlet to you. Because a lot of times, sometimes that I've learned, even with myself, I was participating in those recreational usages so heavily because I wasn't ready to. I just wasn't ready to face what was really happening in my life at that time.
Yeah.
Because at that time, my father had passed. There was a lot of stuff going on with his family. And I wasn't ready to accept and really like, okay, girl, in order to heal, you got to really accept what's going on.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready to do that. I wasn't ready to accept that my father was gone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what? I said, no, I'm outside partying. I don't care. I'm going to all.
I don't care.
Okay. I'm like, I'm going to all the pre-dons.
Yeah.
I'm going to all the parties I know about. I'm turning up. I'm going to be one of the latest girls there.
Right.
And it's like, on the outside looking in, everyone's like, oh, this girl stay partying. This girl stays there. She stay being lit.
Yeah.
And what they didn't know was this is a young girl that just lost her father and is going through a traumatic experience in her life.
Yeah.
And she's running.
Right.
She's running because if she stays still and stop what she's doing, she may have a breakdown because she's not equipped. She's not ready to handle that.
Right.
And I always tell people, I'm like, once you find a good, healthy replacement, also have a good village.
Have a good
village because sometimes how life is set up, I always tell people you can be strong enough to endure tidal waves.
Right. That is true.
But no one can survive a tsunami.
Nobody can survive a tsunami. And a personal story of mine, I was adopted. I was adopted, and I love my adoption family. They're great. They're wonderful.
Yeah.
At the time of my high school years, going into my college years and things like that, of course, I didn't know my birth family, you know, that well. And my cousin of my adopted family, she was raised right beside me. Like a sister. So we was two twins at a pie. Every time you see me, you see her. Every time you see her, you see me. So when we started becoming adults, you know, adult things started happening. People started spreading apart, moving apart.
Of course.
She ended up having her second child, and she moved to South Carolina.
Okay.
She came to see me one day, and I said, you know what, V, you don't look too good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, you know, you don't look yourself. This is not what I'm used to looking like, or what she was looking like. And she said, you know what, She told me she was going through. I said, you know what, move back with me. You can come back, bring kids. We'll make it work, right? So that was on a Friday. She said, okay, I'm going to go down there. I'm going to get my stuff. That Monday, I had got a phone call that she had a heart attack at 23 years old.
Dropped. So sorry to hear that.
Brain dead. Thank you. Brain dead. Dropped on me. Something I was not looking for at all. At her funeral, exactly the next day when I heard that, I lost it. This was the only sister I thought I knew.
Yeah.
I thought she knew. We was like yin and yang. She my other half of the world, right? Next day, immediately started drinking. A day after that, woke up in the morning, started drinking. Bottle done, I need another one. I wasn't trying to live in any type of way that had anything to deal with my person not being here anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I was texting her phone. And I'm just like, I know this didn't happen.
Oh, girl.
I know. Girl, wake up. What you doing?
Same
Stop
thing.
playing with me.
Yeah.
Like, so I definitely can understand sometimes having a loss that's so detrimental. I almost lost my life, too.
Yeah.
My family almost lost me in the midst of just losing another family member because I didn't want to handle and be here and know to talk to somebody and or just know it's okay to not be okay.
I have a question following that. First off, I'm apologetic that you experienced that in your life.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you chose to continue to being here.
Yes.
And that you're like diligently working to become the best version of yourself.
Right.
So your loved ones can look down on you that, you know, that are in heaven, or if you believe in certain things, or, you know, spiritually around us still. So they're able to still, you know, just be here and watch you and just witness, you know, you becoming a better version of yourself.
Right. Right.
But following the topic of us basically admitting that, you know, temporarily we were choosing to do things that weren't good for us. Have you forgiven yourself from your past mistakes?
Ooh. I can honestly say I had been in survivor mode so long, I had to forgive the survivor mode I was in first before forgiving myself. Because I'm one of those people, day in and day out, I'm already really hard on myself as it is. People can look at me, oh my God, you're great, you're this, you're that. I don't see it in myself a lot of the time because I push myself hard. So that is how I kind of started forgiving myself was, okay, you were 17 years old in trap houses till you was 3 a.m., 4 a.m., sleeping there sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But I was in survivor mode where it was like, okay, I had got kicked out at 17. I didn't know where I could go, but I knew I had some homeboys who were in a trap house who was cool with me. That was gonna make sure I was okay. So it's like I had to forgive the type of mode that I was in the mind frame I had to do to survive and get through everything that was going on. Then my next step was saying, okay, that is true. But some of those decisions I didn't have to make. And why did I make them? That's where it started coming into my personality and learning myself to forgive myself. I was like, okay, you could have done a little bit better. Now I'm older, I understand, but you could have did. You didn't have to make that. You knew it was wrong within yourself. Yeah. But you still made the wrong one anyways. So.
If you can put a time frame on how long it took you to get to that point.
Let's see. Yeah. I'm 27. I just turned 27 at the top of this year.
Okay. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you, period. It took me the ending of last year.
And it
took me the ending of last year to realize that, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be in this type of survivor mode anymore. It took me real healing and real being by myself. I had to move by myself. Yeah. I had to actually learn the stuff that I liked. I'm so used to, you know what I'm saying, running to a guy. You can come here, you can be here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Be in my space. You know what I'm saying? I don't wanna lean on nobody else, not even myself. I will lean on you. So it took time for me to learn Jacqueline in 27 years. I still didn't know who I was, and I'm still figuring it out.
And that's fine. That's perfectly human. I'm 27, about to be 28. So I'm in the same boat where I realized I wasn't learning myself. I was just, how can I say, I was beginning to destroy the shell of protecting who I authentically was because I was listening to other people's perspective of how I should be. Taking people's opinions to heart of what I should be doing. Right. And I didn't know, I thought, wow, dog piling.
It does.
I'm hiding the person who I'm authentically am. And I had to learn to forgive myself so I can begin trusting myself again. Yeah. Yeah. So my question 100%. Is, do you trust yourself right now?
I do. Okay. I do. I trust myself right now because I'm working toward goals, actually actively working toward goals that I've been had for years. And I'm not going to take the chance to let myself down because I did that before, knowing in my spirit, I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be sitting right here. And I could have been that way. But whatever I was going through, whatever I was thinking, I vow to not let myself down again because I owe that to myself.
And because you're worthy.
I'm worthy.
Yes, ma'am.
We are all worthy of having greater in life. Whatever life has to give that's great and magical and make us feel like we're at the top of the world. I promise you, we deserve to have that. I am so glad to have you here today.
Yes, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me. We definitely have to, stay connected because I enjoyed this.
Oh, thank you. And thank you, our audience, for listening. Like, follow, subscribe, reshare. We're going to hit you with it again coming soon. Thank you for tuning in with the Play Words Safe podcast. Oh, that was great. I did not get to get into your organization like I wanted to.
No.